Hello, hello. I'm Diann Alexander, supporting speakers and performers in confidently delivering their gifts on stage. And today, I have a great treat for you today. Sandra Lee is a friend and an extraordinary intuitive healer. She empowers women healers and coaches. She combines intuition, sound healing, and you know that's one of my favorites, energy work, and helps clients align with their values, attract ideal clients, and contribute to evolution. It's particularly timely today because we had a big conversation both this weekend at a creative workshop and also this morning at a business workshop about this whole idea of alignment and when things work and when they don't and why that might be. So Sandra, would you please tell us about how you work with energy alignment?
Thank you so much for doing this with me, Diann. So, when I feel stuck, I get all blocked up and I'm not able to do what I need to do. A common place where this has happened in the past is associated with calling people on the phone. And my old lifetime of fear of bothering people gets in the way. And that phone feels so heavy. And so I give up. I don't want to do it. This has a huge impact on my business, on my ability to reach out and to help people. And it's taken me a long time to get through this. Healing. And it's much better now. But let me tell you a little bit, Diann, about how I think of energy and alignment and what's happening here. As a massage therapist forever, I think of it that energy needs to be flowing through the body for my body to work properly and for my brain to work. For me to be able to do anything, accomplish anything, I need to have energy flow coming from the earth through my body out the top of my head, and energy coming down from the sun and from God through my body, connecting me to the earth. That's what I call being grounded, being connected to the earth, connected to the sun, different from what other people may call grounding. But from this energetic alignment perspective, that's what supports me in doing what I want and need to do. But when I get stuck, oh, I don't want to call people on the phone, it's like, my energy gets blocked. And I am stopped because that flow that's necessary for me to feel good, function well, think clearly is cut off. So my brain goes, chaos. I can't think clearly. I can't make decisions. I can't hear. It gets all messed up. So whatever it is I want to do, really, I need to be in this energetic flow.
I'm so excited to hear how you're going to tell us to get back from there.
Yes,
I can hardly wait.
Yes. So as a massage therapist, it's been really interesting for me experimenting with this because I will be working with someone on an issue that they are dealing with, and everything is good. And then as soon as I ask them a question that confronts them or sets them off into fear, it's like, ooh, their energy cuts off. It's instantaneous. It's what I think and what I feel has that instantaneous impact on that energy flow. And most people don't think of it that way. You know, the emotions come and the emotions go and the stresses, and people don't realize that it's throwing their energy connection and their effectiveness all over the place. So you said, how do we get out of it? When I notice myself being in this place, it's like, oh, wait, I'm totally messing up my energy. Breathe. Calm down. And then one of the most effective things I find is to pay attention to a physical sensation. An easy one is to feel how I'm supported by the earth. Feel my feet on the earth and draw that energy up. When I am paying attention to a physical sensation, it's impossible for me to be in the past or in the future. And it enables me to act on what I want in the present moment. What do you think about all that, Diann?
I think that's marvelous. And you've mentioned a couple of things I think that are really, really helpful. One is that I don't think people even realize that they have this ability, that there's something that they can do. They just know that they're stuck, and they didn't even know to look to say, oh, I'm stuck. What can I do about it? There's something I can do about it. I can breathe. I can picture energy, my feet in the earth coming up. And that is such a key piece, is that people forget about that. And
Yeah.
then the different things that you do about the energy flowing. How do you help people get aware of their energy flow? Because I think we all can tell when we're, I don't want to pick up the phone, but it's like, how do we get from there to flowing again?
Absolutely. This is something that most people don't pay attention to.
Mm-hmm.
And I find when I ask them to pay attention to it, do you notice this energy flow? And to give them a before and after. So it's really easy for me to do this when I'm working with somebody in person, like doing massage therapy. But most of the time I'm interacting with people on, virtual. And I can still have them pay attention to this. And the easiest way I have to do that is to have people stand up and see, can you feel that support coming from the earth? And then we do something, we might do an emotional healing or something, and then have them check in with that again. And so having people pay attention to, what do you feel now? What do you sense now? Starts to help them be more aware. So that when they are feeling stuck, when they are feeling blocked, it gives them the ability to, oh, if I pay attention to that, that's going to help me be more grounded.
Where are common places that you find that people are blocked? Because if people are not aware of it, it might be helpful to show them, here are common places you can look for.
When I first start working with people, one of the most common things I find is that the energy is pulled up from the ground into their feet. Pulled up, like imagine I'm pulling my feet off the ground, trying to be safe, because it's dangerous. And so helping people learn how to ground and connect to the earth, that's the first thing. And then another really common place where people get stuck is here. Think about, if I don't feel like I can express myself, then I may have a block here. And for those of you watching, Diann works with speakers and singers, performers, and, thinking about this, are they grounded? You probably work with people all the time to make sure that they've got that energy flow going through so that they have something to be able to deliver through their voice. And so you're working with this same system that I'm talking about in your work with people.
Truly, the energy flow is everything, and the body has the wisdom to heal it. And our brain is bossy and says things that it thinks it knows, whether they're true or not. And when someone like you can draw your attention to me and say, do you know that you're doing this? And that's why you're having a hard time thinking. Oh, now I can start to notice, I'm doing this and my neck is all tight. So what can I do about that? Maybe I can start to loosen it. And maybe because you have other tools like grounding in the earth and that feeling like you're unsafe and not grounded and kind of top heavy, as it were, then bringing your energy down into the earth like roots to feel more solid. Do you have a couple other things that you could give the audience today of something that they could do if when they notice maybe perhaps that their neck is tight?
Another thing they can do is notice, how do I feel? And making the connection between how I feel and my breathing. You know, these different stress responses, right? Because that's what they are. They're stress responses, danger responses, survival responses. And so once people become aware of that this is what they're doing, they have the ability to then choose, what do I want to do now? Do I want to continue to be in that stress response?
Right.
Or do I choose to, oh, wait, breathe
Right.
and settle and allow myself to feel grounded and supported and back in that flow of energy again, so that I return to being able to come off the edge of fear and calm down.
So you're saying like when they notice that maybe I'm nervous and I don't feel like I can talk and I'm stuck, you could say, okay, wait a minute. Where am I feeling that? What am I feeling? Oh, do I have to feel this? Okay, if I'm tight, can I breathe through it? Can I make it go loose? Can I do something else? Can I make a different choice? And that's really wonderful to have that other way to know, oh, I'm stuck. I can't think. What do I do? I don't know. I want to run.
Yes. And it helps to have practiced it.
Yes.
So nobody's really going to be able to, basically, we're talking about doing a self-intervention. Nobody's going to be able to be in this stress state and then the very first time they're paying attention to it, be able to make that adjustment and then return to being calm and present and aware. But with practice.
That really is important. The P word is really important. And if you can first start just noticing your point to just notice that you locked up, notice that you feel all tense, then that's your choice point to do something else, to learn another thing. And and I'm 100% with you. If we can learn to practice these techniques at a place where we're not triggered, like don't wait until you're on stage to deal with this.
Of course.
Practice it off so that you can say, what does that feel like? What does this feel like? And practice making the choice, because a lot of times when we're stuck, it's like, I can't think. Wait a minute. Yes, I can. If I breathe and ground like you're saying to do, now I can make another choice.
Yes. So, and I'm sure when you're working with speakers and singers, this, you know, you have them practice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Lots
and
of practice.
It's so valuable also having someone else's perspective. It's really hard for me to do all of this work, have this awareness, make these just on my own. I'm too close to my stuff to be able to see myself clearly. And so, you know, getting Diann's help with me, or I have so many healers that I work with, you know, so I have a bunch of people who provide support for me when I get to this stuck place, because I still do frequently. Anytime I don't know how to do something, it's like, I need support. And so getting that when I don't know what I'm doing, it's like, my energy is out of alignment and I'm aware of it. And there's some things that I can do on my own, and sometimes where I need help.
I'd really have to agree. In the very beginning stages, when you're changing such a fundamental safety habit, to have someone who can reflect back to you what's going on. Here, I see this, because it's difficult to both see what you're doing and do what you're doing. How can you do the presentation and notice what you're doing at the presentation? But a good coach out there can watch. I recently did a really big talk and I got coaching the night before by who might have been Sandra Lee. It was. And that was so pivotal and supportive and clarifying for me because we think we know what we're doing, but it's that extra set of eyes that say, why don't you try it this way? This worked, this maybe not so much. And in a beginning skill, I can't emphasize enough what you're saying. When it's something so tied to fight and flight, tied to your safety, it's so much uh, more effective to have someone who can help you through that and who is so experienced that they can help you through it in whatever way you might need. Because I know for a fact you have a big bag of tricks, Sandra.
Sometimes there's too many tricks.
We just
But
have to pick the right ones for the person.
yes, it's nice to be able to have a variety of things to try in the moment when somebody has a particular thing coming up. And, you probably do this too. Sometimes you're doing multiple things at one time
Mhm.
so that you can support people wherever it is they are. I've been a practitioner forever, 37 years. I've been a massage therapist. And I look at it that, my issue is like a diamond with 1,000 facets on it. And if I approach it only from this one direction, my issue, it wants to like escape my focus. It wants to, I don't want to be worked on. If I only approach it from this one direction, it can get away and
Right.
I don't make any progress. But if I approach it from this direction and this direction and this direction and this direction, it's really hard for this issue to really squirm out. So for me as a practitioner with several different modalities and then working with other people, it's much more likely that I am going to make progress on resolving this issue and have it be less of a impeder in my
Right.
life.
The other thing that you do and that good coaches do, I think, is that you are such a grounding energy. Your energy is lovely. It has a lightness to it, a strength to it, a wisdom to it, and just being around it, the part of us that worries just entrains to that and goes, ah, okay, I know you're going to take care of me. And that's really important when you're working through these very tender issues.
Yeah. Well, and, talking about that, one of the techniques I use is called the Make Anything Possible method. And it works with healing that stuff from the past. I say that imagine all of my unresolved stuff is in this big pot in front of me. Imagine I have a big cauldron full of all of this stuff. And the Make Anything Possible method helps to clear the stuff out of there. I look at it when I have all this unresolved stuff and then something happens and triggers it. It's like all this kindling. It blows up. When we heal all the stuff from the past, there's not as much kindling. There's not as much reactivity.
So it can be there, but it doesn't have to affect you.
Yeah. Well, here's what I say, right? You can never unhappen what happened. What you can do is you can make it so the kindling is gone. So you just, that happened. Oh, well, so I'm going to make a different choice than I have in the past. Choose to respond differently.
Right. Then you don't carry the charge, so it doesn't have to bother you every single time. It's, that alignment is so cool. That choice is so powerful. I think people think it needs to be more complex and difficult than it is. Not that it's always easy. Sometimes you have to use all of your bravery and your strength and to get a lot of support to make that happen. But it's not as complex. I mean, haven't you found sometimes it can be something as simple as let's just respond to this differently. Let's choose to make a different choice. And then energetically, you help them work through so that their system can align with that new decision, right? Because
Yeah.
this is only a piece of the puzzle. We have to get the rest of this on board.
A really important part of enabling that choice to happen is being aware.
I think it's
So
a key.
if something happens and I just automatically respond a certain way, I call that a compulsion.
The knee-jerk
This,
reaction. Yeah.
yes, this gets triggered and I just like jump in the track and I'm running down the track.
Hmm.
And it's automatic. But once I'm aware, oh, this happens and then I jump in the track. Do I want to do that? No. And it gives me the opportunity to jump back out, to make a different choice. But if we never sit down and look at what is it that's happening, it's hard to change the patterns.
Mm-hmm.
And I find it's also really hard to come to that awareness and do it all on my own.
It's true.
I was like, oh, this is what I'm doing, but I keep doing it
Hmm.
until I get the support of another person.
The support is important. And I was just thinking of an old joke. My husband grew up in the South, and they used to have a saying, if you don't know where you are, you can't get there from here. And so that's that piece of awareness that's so important. You can't get anywhere, and you probably need someone to give you directions.
Yes, yes. And also, like, just seeing you, being recognized, being seen and received and accepted for who you are is such an important thing. It's a basic human need.
It really is.
And if I don't feel like I'm being seen and received and accepted for who I am, then it's really hard to get anywhere. And that's another really valuable piece that comes with working with somebody.
Mm-hmm. I've heard it said that being heard is to the psyche like oxygen is to the body. It's that important.
Yes.
So I understand you have a master class coming up. I
I
would really like to, I bet our
do.
listeners would really like to know about that.
Yes. So this is energy alignment, healing tools for shining your truth through your business.
That sounds
So,
marvelous.
yes, I have found that this has been a real issue for me personally lately. It's funny, it's like my messaging is all about energy alignment, but at the same time, what I was trying to make myself do in my business,
Mm.
I was not aligned with. And it's like, there's this thing I've been talking about for a while, right? There's all these experts that say, do this, do this, do this, do that. And if I don't feel like these things they're recommending fit for me, I'm in that stuck place.
Right.
And I was trying to force myself to do it. And I was miserable.
Yeah. Did you get anywhere?
Yeah, no, I didn't.
No.
And then I was like, oh, wait, I'm not following my own message. Energy alignment, you have to have it for your business to work properly. I can make phone calls when I come from the place of love and gratitude and wanting to connect with this person. It's not a suffering thing. When I was like, oh, I'm going to bother them, they're not going to want to talk to me. I don't want to talk. So it's like the difference between being blocked and stuck or in the flow and being able to make that choice. So the masterclass is on Friday, August 9th, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, and then, of course, the time zones in between. We're going to be there for an hour talking about aspects of this, some of the things that we've been talking about with Diann and other things. And then I am also going to do some healing.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Like a healing hot seat.
Yes. I'm going to do some biofield tuning, and
Nice.
I'm going to take input from those who are in the audience that, I just custom create in the moment what we're going to work on. So register for the masterclass. There's going to be a link associated with the video. And I would love to have you come and learn about how you can be more in energetic alignment with whatever it is you want to do, but certainly when it comes to your business.
And
This has
what's
a
one
huge
thing
impact
somebody
on
can
business.
walk away with? Like, what would be a benefit if I learn about what would be different if I learn about energetic alignment and start to move that? What would be different for me?
Well, so some of the practical strategies that we talked about today, probably going to repeat those because those are some of the foundational ones, but there's going to be more. You're just going to have some practical strategies. And for people who attend live, there's going to be a tip sheet that I'm going to make.
Ooh, nice.
I'm not going to make it until after the fact because I don't know what the tips are going to be yet. Some of them I know what they're going to be, but just like in this conversation with Diann, more tips have come up. And then there's going to be an extra special gift that I'm not going to announce until Friday morning, the morning of the 9th. That there's going to be a surprise gift that people get if they stay until the end. So
That's wonderful. Well, if you all would like to be so much more confident and in a space of alignment about making your follow-up calls, about making your calls, about just going on a job interview or speaking to someone or anything at all where you feel that, oh, I can't do this. Something's wrong. Please come to Sandra's class and get some skills that you can practice and shift your life when those things show up so you can bring your message out to the world.
yes. So I am Sandra Lee, intuitive sound and energy healer. And healers and coaches start making real money when they stop marketing from strategy, like stop doing the things because other people said so, even if it doesn't work for you, and start marketing from purpose. What's in alignment with you?
Beautiful. Thank you,
Diann, would you
Sandra.
tell us a little bit about you too?
I can. We're running a little long. Are you sure you want to?
Go ahead. Yeah.
Um,
Briefly.
I think let's save it for next time.
Okay.
I'm so happy with what you've given here. I don't want to take it in a dilution. Let's give them a bite-sized piece because I'm not done talking with you, girl.
We're going to do another one of these talking about Diann and her stuff. So, well, so thank you everybody for being here, and join me in the masterclass. Thank you.